NAIIM, thanks so much for making time to speak with me. I'm speaking from Toronto. Where are you right now as we speak?
I'm actually in Hamilton, Ontario right now.
What's going on in Hamilton, man? Because originally you're from Montreal, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Montreal, but bought a house in Hamilton, I don't know, maybe like a couple years ago, 3 years ago.
What's that transition like? Because I know Montreal,
Yeah.
it's glitz and glamour. Hamilton is more of the tough guy situation, kind of, it's the working man's city. What's that like
Yeah.
to make that transition?
Well, actually, I didn't make the transition from Montreal to Hamilton. I
Okay.
moved from Montreal to Toronto when I was 7 and lived in Toronto
Okay.
most of my life. Yeah,
Now
exactly.
we really got glitz and glamour going on in
Yeah.
Toronto. So then what's it like to make that move to Hamilton?
Honestly, it's good. I'm happy that I moved to Hamilton because it gives me the peace and quiet that, you don't necessarily get living in Toronto.
Oh, come on, man. Let's get to the truth. Hamilton's got great house prices, not like Toronto, where
No, that
literally you got to sell your
1,000,
kids.
no, 1,000%. Hamilton's got great house prices. That's definitely number one. But number two is just like you're kind of away from like the hustle and bustle of the city. You know what I'm saying? And where
Yeah.
my house is located is my backyard goes in the woods, so it's like it's just chill. And I love nature. You know what I'm saying?
And if you need to do anything in Toronto, it's not that bad a drive when the weather is, good
Yeah,
and there's
exactly.
no idiot doing something on the highway.
Exactly. It's right there. It's right there. So it's pretty simple.
Here's the one complaint I got about Hamilton.
Okay.
If I need to go here, I got to go here, here, here,
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
here, here to get to here. I
Yeah.
can't get a road that just goes to here.
Well, you got Main and you got King, and those are the two
Mhm.
main arteries that go through the city, But other than that, it's weird in terms of how they set up the streets. I do agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drives me. I can see where I want to get to, but I got to go here. Then I got to go.
Yeah.
Drives me
Those are the
crazy, man.
streets, man.
But no, glad to speak with you. There's a big reason why you and I are talking, man. You
Yeah.
are part of a small group of people who have received a very distinguished honor. What is it?
It is the Canadian Black Music Award from SOCAN. Thank you.
Congratulations, man. Now, for folks who don't know what this prestigious award is, please explain.
Well, I mean, it's an award that SOCAN gives out every year, or I think for the last couple years,
Yeah.
to Black artists who have sort of distinguished themselves in the music space in Canada.
Now, did they approach you? Did you apply? Like, what happened here?
Well, here's the thing is I actually had no idea. So when I got the email, I was pleasantly surprised. And so what had happened was my managers actually applied. So I think you have to
Mhm.
apply, but my
Yeah.
managers applied, and then I guess I got the email and I was pleasantly surprised right around the holidays. So it was a really, really nice little Christmas gift.
Now, I'm just curious. Are they saying they got to be sent? I know SoCan. They always like sending awards to people. Are you going to be actually getting something physical?
I don't know actually. I know that there's a brunch that we're supposed to be going to where they say they're gonna give us something, but I have no idea what that thing is. So we'll
Well,
see.
well, well, looking forward to you posting what they're going to give you. So, but no, SoCan loves to give people stuff. So I
Yeah,
would not surprise me with that. Well, let's talk about your career, man. There's a reason why you're getting something like this. And
yeah,
it's an incredible career because it's almost like what we just talked about from Montreal to Toronto to Hamilton,
right,
because your life, listen to me, your life is sort of like the same way from what originally the path you were going to walk to into where we are today.
right, right. By path, do you mean career choice?
Yeah, and growing up and everything.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I never thought when I was young that I would take music as a career. I didn't even know that was a possible thing, to be quite honest
Mhm.
with you. And originally, what I was going to become was a doctor. Golden boy, first of the family, got to set the right example. My dad being an immigrant, like become a doctor, engineer, or a lawyer. Even though my dad's an artist himself. And so they really hammered that into me the second I displayed any sort of interest into medicine when I was a kid, because obviously you want to make your parents proud. So I go to university, write my MCAT, my medical entry exam, and I have kind of like a year gap between the time I wrote my exam to the time I have to apply for medical school, right
Right.
after I graduated from university. And I decided to pick up the pen and the mic again, like I did when I was in high school and in middle school. And I just decided that, you know what, the thing that would make me happy and the happiest person in the world, um, would be to make music for the rest of my life. And that's basically what I did, you know.
What was the reaction to your parents? Because your mom's a teacher too, right?
My mom is a teacher. That's crazy. I don't even know how you
Yeah.
know that. My mom is a teacher, yeah. So my mother,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
My mother's a teacher, my dad's an artist. My mom wasn't as hard on me as my father was, funny enough.
I believe that.
Yeah, exactly. So my mom was like, okay, well, like I would like for you to go to medical school, but if you want to do this music thing, we'll give you about 2 years, see what you can do. And then if you do something good with it, you keep going with it. And then my dad was like, he knows what it's like being an artist. And my dad was a really accomplished artist in the fashion scene. Um, and he was just like, I really don't want this life for you, and really tried to deter me away from it. But I guess desires are stronger than your parents' opinion at the end of the day. And the second he saw how committed I was, he basically told me, it was like, you got to promise me one thing, is just you can never give up. Like once you're on it and you don't stop. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that kind of advice. Let's go back to middle school. What was that
Yeah.
like for you? Like, where were the musical influences coming from growing up, especially, um, transitioning from Montreal to Toronto? Because I know Montreal has its own world of music, and Toronto has a plethora
Right.
of beats from whether you're going from the Caribbean. Yes, I said Caribbean, not Caribbean. Don't ever say Caribbean. It's
Yeah.
Caribbean. Caribbean to Greek to Italian
Yeah.
to Islam. Like there's all sorts of types when you come to Toronto.
Right. No, 100%. I mean, being in Montreal, I feel like I was just so young. I don't even really remember that time in my life from 0 to 7, you
Mhm.
know. Where I really developed a passion for music was when we moved to Toronto. Like maybe a year or two after, I remember listening to Flow 93.5 and just having my mind absolutely blown by hip hop in general. And the second I heard the radio, I was like, oh, I started looking more into it, and I fell in love with this rapper called Ludacris.
Of
And
course.
somehow, some way, I don't know how, I managed to convince my parents to get me a Ludacris album, which was the Red Light District tape.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I was hooked. I started writing, and by the time I was 13, I had recorded my first song.
Oh, fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Just curious, did you start building a studio at home or anything?
Yeah, so I mean that was a little bit later on. At first, it was more so I had my little raps that I would write, and then I would find beats online, like beats of like popular songs that were already there. Like either I would find them on LimeWire or on YouTube or what have
Right.
you. And my dad had a MacBook at the time, and I found iMovie on his computer, and I saw a big red little button that I clicked on, and I saw that I could record myself. And funny enough, I started recording myself in iMovie out of all places with the beat blaring in the background. And then eventually, as I started to look into things, by the time I was in like, I don't know, maybe grade 8, saved up to buy my first mic, had GarageBand on the computer, and learned how
No.
to record myself. And you take it step by step.
And it's so funny that I love the fact when I hear artists learn on their own,
Oh, 1000%.
the discovery of how this is done, this is done, this is done. I feel like it gives you more strength and makes you go further. Now, as we move further, were you ever in competitions, or did you always want to stay in a certain path of, okay, I want to establish myself as an artist, this is where I want to go, I want to get a manager, I want to write, I want to go to a recording studio, I want to perform in shows? What was the path like for that part of it?
Well, at first it was just a hobby. I didn't even think it could be a job.
Mhm.
Um, and then after I got out of uni, when I rediscovered music again, um, I got into competitions. Like there was this coast to coast competition that came to Toronto. I don't know if
I
you've
know which
ever
one
heard.
you I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking about already.
Yeah, so I did the coast to coast in like 2019, I think I'd say, and then I won out of like 40 people. Yeah, thank you.
That's
Uh,
probably where I know your name from because I'm looking at it. I had to even look
really?
back to see if we did an interview together, and we hadn't. And I'm looking at this name going, I know this name from somewhere. That's probably from that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I won in Toronto. There was like a little show in Kensington Market. Won there. Oh, were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but I know of the show because I did an
Yeah,
interview talking about the show. That's
there you
why.
go.
And I always keep in touch with it.
There you go. Yeah, so I did it in Toronto, and then I went to Miami for like the finals type thing. Didn't end up winning whatsoever. I was completely distraught.
Yeah,
And
because Canadian, they're always going to do that to Canadians. You know,
they don't take
they're
it
already mad
seriously.
about Drake. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're just like, no, we're not going to do this again.
They don't take it seriously at all. Like my girlfriend is American, she's from California, and their
Uh,
family, like her family, when they look at Canadians, it's like they don't really take us seriously like that in the entertainment space, other
I
than like
believe it.
the weekends and stuff. But anyways, I do this competition, I don't win, I'm sad, come back, and then I decide to try to start building a team around me.
Mhm.
Uh, and so, I got my man Andrew, I got my man Noor, and I got my man Ben, and we formed this thing called 22 Sounds, which is our own kind of label. Yeah. And then right before creating 22 Sounds, I signed a pub deal. I got discovered, signed a pub deal with Warner Chappell, and yeah.
How did you do all this? Because COVID was taking over the world.
So I
So
kind
did it cause a pause in your career?
It did, yeah. So I signed a pub deal right before COVID. And then I started going to LA for the first time a lot, right before COVID. And then I think on my second or third trip to LA, COVID hit while I was out there. So I had to come back to Canada. And that's when I kind of decided to take a pause on releasing music. So I built my catalog up. So for about a year and a half to 2 years, I stopped releasing music. I decided to start from scratch and build a whole lot of songs that once we start releasing, we don't stop releasing. So
Mhm.
within that about year and a half to 2 year time frame, I recorded about like 450 to 500 songs. Yeah. And now we're just on release mode.
So COVID now starts to, we're able to work together.
Yes.
What did you end up doing from there when the doors started opening again?
Going right back to LA. Going right back to LA, going right back to I went to I went to Miami. Well, okay, this is how it happened. COVID hits. I'm going I stopped going to LA. I'm at home. I'm working from home because I still had a 9 to 5 working
Yeah.
corporate.
Yeah.
So I'm working from home and then I'm recording music, working from home, recording music. My dad passes away.
Oh,
Yeah,
so sorry to hear, man.
it happens. My dad passes away. I decide that, and this is when COVID had just like kind of ended, 2021. And so he passes away. I decide, you know what, life is too short. I quit my job, and then I get invited to a songwriting camp maybe 2 months later in Miami by Pulse. Go on a one-way trip to Miami for a week with my manager, one of my managers, Noor, and we do really well at the camp. And at the camp, one of these music execs goes, you know what, you should come out to LA, and work for a little bit. I'd love to have you in the studio. Say, you know what? Screw it. One-way flight to LA, stayed there for about 3 months, straight, hustling and bustling, doing 2 to 3 sessions a day. And we were just grinding it out.
Wow.
And that's kind of how the floodgates opened right after COVID hit.
Amazing. And those floodgates, of course, was music. What is the latest single going on right now for you, my friend? Is there an album out? Is there an EP? Or is it just a particular single?
So I released 3 things kind of within like a similar time period.
Okay.
I released a single titled Molly Star, which I wrote while I was in Africa, where my dad is from. And then right after that, a couple weeks later, we dropped the EP called It Goes Without Saying. And then a couple weeks after that, we dropped Antidote right before the holidays hit.
What was it like going back to the motherland? Because family's from Somalia, right?
Yeah, families from Somaliland. So there's Somalia and Somaliland. Somaliland is northern Somalia. It's
Okay.
not recognized by the UN, but we call it Somaliland. Um, it's amazing, man. You know, like my father passed away in Somaliland. He went back to build us like a vacation home, and
Hmm.
while he was out there, he got into a car accident. So ever since then,
I'm so sorry to hear.
it's all good. Ever since then, I've been going back every year, and it was only after his passing that I got really, really connected with my roots, and that's what inspired a lot of the music that I've been recording, and a lot of like Molly Star, for instance, I recorded it out there, and a lot of the Afro stuff that I've been doing recently.
What is Molly Star about?
Somali Star. So Mali is short for Somali. And it's basically just like the hook in itself is just me being proud of being a Somali individual, you know, because the hook is like she said I'm a star. I said, baby, I know. Somali men up on the rise, waving my flag up high. So it's like a prideful song about where I'm from. And I feel like there's a lot of Somali artists in the game you know, which don't have enough light shone on them. And I just wanted to make a song that really represented us as a people in Africa on the
Sounds
east.
like sounds
Yeah,
like you jumped, not jumped, I should say you were ahead of the game when it came to the Afro beats coming over to North America. Am I correct on that?
sorry, what do you mean by that?
The Afrobeat sound. Um, and it sounds like from the music that you're talking about, there's a connection with that. And from what you were telling me, from what was going on with you from beforehand, it
Yeah,
sounds like you were on that path in that music path
yeah,
before it really came to North America, because that
yeah,
was sort of that sound was there for a while. And the reason why I
yeah,
say that is because it was a year ago I was in South Africa
yeah,
and I spoke to a lot of artists, and they
yeah,
were saying to me, no, that sound's been here for years.
yeah,
It's only now
yeah.
North Americans and even
Exactly right.
Europeans are jumping on it.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I mean, I recorded the song before I think Afro was like a really big thing in Canada.
Right.
Uh, but I released it while it was really bubbling up, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. So what is the next step? We're in a new year, we got new paths. What's the
Yeah.
new goal?
Well, the new goal is to just keep releasing music, creating content. You know, content is king at the end of the day.
Mm.
Uh, so my only focus is releasing more music and creating more content. Um, you know, I've got 3 projects that I'm currently working on simultaneously. They're all finished up, but we're just adding the finishing touches to them, and we're going to be rolling them out really, really shortly. So I'm super excited.
Any shows planned?
No shows as of yet. No, no. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep a pause here because I'm waiting for you to tell me. But yes, we are going to be doing some more shows
Yeah. Oh,
sometime in
1000%.
22.
We're going to be doing more shows.
Okay,
100%. Yes, yes, yes. But there's none lined up right now. Yeah.
okay, because I'm gonna hold you to it, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold you
100%.
to that. Look, brother, I gotta say, man, this has been an inspiring conversation. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get a chance to talk to several of the other folks and hear their stories, but what a way to start this off for me and talking to you. Cannot wait to see what you're going to be doing in the next couple of years. I know there is going to be some major impact through your music. Congratulations on everything you're doing now and the best in the future.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you for having me on.